In the year zero, the world was a patchwork of powerful empires. For real, no facts. The Roman Empire ruled the Mediterranean, while the Parthian Empire stood strong to the east. They had strong beef. These rivals eyed each other warily, their borders tense and politics shaped by competition. Farther east, the Han dynasty flourished, powerful yet largely isolated from Rome. Still, the Silk Road connected these worlds, with Chinese silk reaching Roman markets. Other empires rose, like the Kushan in India and the Kingdom of Kush in Africa. Thin threads of trade and diplomacy ran between these great powers. The ambitions of a few shaped the destinies of millions. Augustus, Rome's first emperor, ruled as first citizen, holding absolute power while avoiding the title of king. He ended civil war, reformed the army, and transformed Rome from brick to marble. Later emperors, from Tiberius to Claudius, shaped Rome's destiny, conquering new lands and ruling from afar. The Roman army built roads and aqueducts, uniting the empire. Gladiatorial games and chariot races thrilled crowds, reinforcing the emperor's image. Bread and circuses kept the people content. Power was always on display in Rome. East of Rome, the Parthian Empire controlled a vast territory at the crossroads of the ancient world. Their wealth came from taxing Silk Road trade, making them both prosperous and powerful. Parthian armies were famed for their cavalry, heavily armoured cataphracts and agile horse archers. The Parthian shot, firing arrows while retreating, was a tactic that frustrated Roman legions. Rome and Parthia's rivalries simmered, especially over Armenia, a buffer state both sought to control. Political maneuvering, threats and proxy wars defined their relationship, with Armenia as the main prize. Unlike Rome's centralized rule, Parthia was a feudal system, with powerful nobles often challenging the king. This internal instability was a weakness, but Parthia remained resilient and a constant thorn in Rome's side. The Parthian king ruling from Ctesiphon balanced the ambitions of noble families and the threat of Roman intervention. Despite their differences, Rome and Parthia were locked in a complex dance of conflict and cooperation. Trade continued even amid tension, as both empires benefited from the flow of goods. The Silk Road was both a source of wealth and a battleground for influence. Parthia's unique blend of Persian and Hellenistic culture made it a formidable and distinct power. The struggle for Armenia was about more than territory. It was about prestige and control of the East. For half a century, the balance of power held, but the rivalry never faded. In the East, the Han dynasty ruled a unified and advanced China. The era began with the decline of the Western Han, as court intrigue and weak leadership led to instability. In 9 AD, Wang Mang seized power, founding the short-lived Qin dynasty and attempting radical reforms. His efforts to redistribute land and introduce new currency angered elites and failed to solve deep problems. Natural disasters and rebellion followed, and by 23 AD, Wang Mang was overthrown. The Han dynasty was restored under Liu Xuan, marking the start of the Eastern Han with its capital at Luoyang. Emperor Guangwu spent years restoring order, rebuilding government and reviving the economy. Han China boasted a sophisticated bureaucracy, with officials chosen for their knowledge of Confucian texts. Technological advances included silk production and the early invention of paper. Chinese cities were large and well organized, supported by vast irrigation projects. The Han world was as complex as Rome, but followed its own unique path. Despite turmoil, China's resilience and innovation set the stage for future greatness. For most people, life revolved around farming and the seasons. Whether in Rome, Parthia or China, the majority were peasants, working land they rarely owned. Harvests determined survival. A bad year meant hunger or worse. Homes were small and basic, with families living together in tight quarters. Diets were simple: bread, olives and wine in Rome, millet or rice in China. Meat was rare. City life was crowded and unsanitary, but offered opportunities for artisans and traders. Disease was a constant threat, yet cities buzzed with trade and entertainment. Family and community were vital, providing support in hard times. Marriages were arranged, often to secure alliances or labor for the farm. Religion was woven into daily life, with offerings to gods and spirits for health and fortune. Without modern science, faith helped people make sense of hardship. Life was hard, but anchored by family, tradition, and hope for better seasons. The rhythms of planting, harvest, and festival shaped every year. Across empires, the struggles and joys of ordinary people were remarkably similar. This era was marked by remarkable innovation and construction. Romans perfected concrete, enabling them to build domes, bridges, and aqueducts that transformed cities. The arch, vault, and dome became hallmarks of Roman architecture, allowing for grand, enduring structures. Aqueducts brought fresh water to cities, improving health and daily life. In Han China, technology advanced with the invention of paper, making writing cheaper and more accessible. Chinese metallurgists led the world in cast iron production, creating strong tools and weapons. The Roman water wheel and glass blowing made daily tasks easier and goods more affordable. These innovations improved economies and the lives of ordinary people. Engineering and invention were as important as armies in shaping the ancient world. Infrastructure connected empires, while new technologies spread slowly along trade routes. The achievements of this era laid the groundwork for future progress. From aqueducts to paper, these advances changed how people lived and worked. The legacy of ancient innovation endures to this day. Between 0 and 50 AD, new religious and philosophical ideas emerged that would shape history. In Judea, Jesus of Nazareth preached love and salvation. After his crucifixion, his followers began spreading Christianity. This small movement would eventually become a global faith. In Rome, Stoic philosophy guided the elite, teaching virtue, self-control, and acceptance of fate. Stoicism offered a moral compass in a turbulent world, influencing leaders and soldiers alike. In China, Confucianism was the foundation of government and society, emphasizing family, respect, and harmony. Confucian ideals shaped everything from politics to daily conduct. These systems, Christianity, Stoicism, Confucianism, offered answers to life's big questions. Each addressed morality, purpose, and community in its own way. Though separated by distance, their teachings would echo across centuries. The seeds planted in this era would grow into powerful forces, transforming civilizations. New beliefs challenged old traditions, offering hope and guidance. The world was on the cusp of profound spiritual and philosophical change. This era was shaped by remarkable individuals. Augustus, Rome's first emperor, ended civil war and established the Pax Romana, laying the foundation for centuries of stability. In Judea, Jesus of Nazareth's teachings inspired a movement that would become Christianity, his influence growing far beyond his lifetime. Paul of Tarsus, once a persecutor of Christians, became a tireless missionary, spreading the new faith across the Mediterranean. His letters helped define Christian theology and reach non-Jewish communities. In China, Wang Meng's bold reforms and brief rule disrupted the Han dynasty, sparking debate over his legacy as a usurper or visionary. His failure and the Han Restoration highlighted the power of entrenched elites. These figures, emperor, prophet, reformer, left marks that shaped their worlds. Their actions and ideas would echo through history, influencing millions. The era's legacy is inseparable from the people who dared to change it. Their stories remind us how individuals can alter the course of history. The years 0 to 50 AD were a time of tension and transformation. Rome, Parthia, and Han China stood strong, but faced internal and external challenges. Rome's imperial system was still new, its stability tested by unpredictable rulers. In the east, Rome and Parthia's rivalry over Armenia foreshadowed future conflicts. Han China survived crisis and restoration, focusing on rebuilding and securing trade. Beneath imperial politics, new ideas, Christianity, Stoicism, were taking root. No one could foresee how these beliefs would reshape the world. Trade routes grew, connecting distant empires and cultures. The old order was being tested, and the groundwork for a new era was being laid. The world stood poised for dramatic change, its future shaped by the ambitions and ideas of this pivotal age.